Hey everybody, it's me, Tuniscia O, and welcome to Tea with Tuniscia O. I'm hanging with one of my very, very close friends, Margot. Let's say hello.
Hey, what's up?
We're having brunch. Cheers, cheers, cheers. So today we were just chatting about teenagers. She has some nephews that are in teenage years, and her husband, and all of them. We've been friends for so many years. So we were just chatting about our kids and what they're going through and the things that we don't see that are happening. And so this has been a hot topic on social media lately. What is his name? Triple X?
Triple X, yeah.
Yes. So he was killed, and different people have different opinions. And our conversation wasn't even about that particular rapper. It wasn't about the life that he led. So that is not the direction we're headed in. It was just about what are teenagers going through. So what were you sharing? You were saying your nephews felt like they could relate to this kid.
Right. My nephews, they felt like they could relate to him, you know, through his lyrics and the message that he was saying. Obviously, he wrote a song about someone who committed suicide. And so, you know, they were saying that those lyrics helped them. And so that kind of question, like, so what are these kids really going through, even though, you know, they are not experiencing a lot of the issues that we experienced growing up. So it's just like,
because your husband was comparing it
to his life, you know, growing up. So it's just like, okay, in my eyes, in his eyes, he feels like, wow, these kids have it really, really good. Right. You know, of course, they have some other issues that, you know, maybe, you know, some other issues, but outside of that, overall life, we feel like life for them is pretty decent.
Good, exactly.
Right, it's good.
Overall. And now, once again, we're just speaking of the children in our life. We're not talking about children who may be having different situations, because we know everybody is in different places in their lives and their life experience, but we're just speaking of our children. Because Margot and I haven't caught up for a little bit, and she was saying, I'm trying to keep her beautiful baby girl out of the camera. Yeah. We don't want her on social media, so if you see somebody jumping her, it's baby girl in my lap. I love her. So she was like, T, I did not know that Damien took a year and a half off. And I was telling her, and this is a close friend of mine, like, you come to any event, I promise you, her and her husband are on deck. 9 months pregnant and all. They're there. And so, but I was telling her, in the midst of what was happening while Damien was going through the transitions, we weren't focusing on the transition or the different adversity he was hitting. I was just praying, I was fasting, and I was just focusing on the outcome of what we desired. So Damien going back to school is a bigger deal than you can even imagine, because he went through so much. And she's like, dang, T, like, what are these kids going through? Which is what led us to this. And so I think that part of it, honestly, is social media. Girl, they spend so much time focusing on whose bathing suit is bad, and if you don't have, I mean, and it's even, you know, I feel bad, you know, as an adult, I can look at it and I can, you know, say, you know, it's not all it's cracked up to be. Absolutely. You know, but a kid, you know, their mind frame is just like, wow, you know, I don't have that, I don't have this. You know, I want my life to be like this. They look like they have a better life than I do, you know, so it's really, I mean, even as an adult, I mean, I've heard some of my adult friends, you know, when they're looking at other people's posts, they're just like, wow, they seem like they got it good. But in the back of my mind, I'm just like, it's not all it's cracked up to be. It isn't. You know? And I think that what we don't realize is, like, people who are on celebrity status, they get endorsements for the things that they're wearing, for the various clothes, the things that they're doing. They get paid or get to do things for free because of that life, right? But then you have people who live a more humble life, and they are balling out of control. So you're looking at their flip-flops thinking, but let me tell you something. They own 20 houses. They're set for life. You know what I mean? Like, I won't put anybody on blast, but I know how you and your husband get down, and our families, and you know what we do. And it's not about posting every single thing, and it's not about sharing every single thing. It's just about quietly building the empire that we desire to have for our families, and then moving forward. Or just, and you know, like I always say, I say, you know, I don't post, you know, or put everything out there because I want to enjoy the moment in itself. Like, you know, I might post a picture that could have been 3 weeks ago, you know, literally. I'm with you. It literally could have been like 2 months ago because, okay, I felt like sharing it. But when I'm in that moment,
I just want to go ahead and enjoy it and not get caught up with like, oh, let me run to my phone,
and show
let me show.
It's so
you know what?
Because
you know what? I live a fulfilled life, so I'm just like, it's good over here.
Exactly.
You know, if you just because I don't post it, don't mean that
it didn't happen.
Right, it didn't happen, or life ain't good.
Exactly.
You know, so.
And for me, it's been an adjustment, and I'll just share. Other than Facebook, girl, I didn't have any of the social media. My husband is going through the adjustment because he's like, why the heck is that phone on and why are you recording? I'm like, love, I got it.
Right.
And he's annoyed. He's like super annoyed, but I was the same way. Like, we would go on trips out of the country and I'd laugh because I would post a month later and they'd be like, oh, I hope you're having fun. I was like, that's funny.
Like, that was how many months ago? Like,
now the closest people to us knew, and I would throw some pictures over and be like, hey. But so for parents, it's just important that we realize, and parents, because we're talking about her nephews, and her husband are super involved because they have a really close-knit family. And it's important for us to realize that although we may not see what the children are going through, and although we may not understand it because we compare it to what our lives are, they are going through something, parents. They really are. And once you realize it, it's just important that we love them, that we support them. And I know that a lot of people may look at our posts and think, oh, they got it figured out. But like, when Damien was going through his stuff, I was in a really deep depression, like a really deep depression. And he's my one child. You know, all of my children, the three of them, every time I say all, my daughter's always like, Mommy, you act like you have like 20 of us. But all three of my children have brought out something different in me. And he's the one that helped me grow up so much as a mother. Like, he pulled out all the cards and I really had to face a mirror. And I was like, oh, Lord, I don't think I like what I see. You really trying to get in this camera.
And then one of the things I also want to say is, like, don't be scared to get mental health for your children because, you know, I don't know if it's a stigmatism in our community, but like, it's okay if you have to seek out a professional to help your child because we may not be able to get the message across. We may not be approaching them in the correct way. You know, as a parent, you might, as a parent or a guardian or aunt or uncle, you might think like, okay, it might be just too hard. So, you know, they may need someone else that's a neutral person that they can talk to because we may not be able to relate to what they actually are going through. But I think it's okay, you know, it's okay for your children to have mental health, even if they're 16 and they're going to see a therapist. It's okay, it's not bad. You know, we don't have to have it, you know, when we're like 35 and life has just crashed down on us, you know.
And you know what? I'm so glad you brought that up, Margot, because even if your child needs mental health, I think that part 2 of that is don't make them feel guilty
about going
or feel bad about it. Like, because if we are making them feel crummy about who they are as people, because that's what they need, then we're failing. You know what I mean? Like, our children need something, and it's our job to give them what they need. And if we don't know, get them the help, but don't make them feel like they're less than because they need it. I'm glad you brought that up. Thank you guys. So we're just talking about topics that are just real when it comes to family, blending our love, being there for our children, because life doesn't always seem so easy while we're going through it. And her and I were laughing because she has this beautiful baby girl. She's about 1.5. She's just 1.5, right? And I was telling her, I said, girl, changing diapers is so much easier than when you're trying to be a parent to adult children, you know, because they have their own independence and all that stuff. But it's so worth it, guys. The journey is beautiful. And I'm going to tell you something. You can learn so much from your children if you allow them to let you grow. Like, I allowed the experiences I was going through with my children to let me grow into the mother and the woman and the wife that I am today. Even my husband and I, like, we've grown tremendously. And this is somebody that's very close to me, and she had no idea. You know why? Because I wasn't focusing on the negative. I focused on fixing me in order for me to be a better mom to my children. So this is Tuniscia O. I'm hanging with my girl Margot. Thanks for hanging with us. Love your children where they are. Get them the mental health they need. Get them whatever they need. And baby girl over here is playing the drums for us. So we will talk to you later. Thanks for hanging with us. Ciao.
Ciao.